Hi everyone, welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. Today we are featuring the famous Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce, and I have two very special guests. One of my two co-hosts, Cary McCord.
Good morning,
and
good afternoon.
We are excited because if you remember the last time we were here with Kelly Snow, and we miss you, Kelly, we'll see you next time, but we were teasing about the new CEO for the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce, who is Skip Alford. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you, and we had a blast teasing everybody, and they wouldn't tell me who it was, but it sure sounded good. So what do you think so far? I mean, you've just stepped into your new seat there.
Well, I love being back on the Gulf Coast. And living many years in Panama City Beach, it's amazing how close the communities are alike.
Really?
And Southern charm, and people are polite. You can be standing in Palm Harbor for an hour and just tell, that it's got a great spirit about it. The people are friendly. Everybody I've encountered has just been incredibly polite and welcoming to me. Obviously, Mr. McCord here, Cary is one of the finest guys I've ever met, and helping me get settled in here and set up for success right off the bat, which that doesn't always happen. And I have so enjoyed just my short time, and am looking forward to just a fantastic future here. And for this Chamber of Commerce, I think the potential is literally limitless on the things that we can do for the Palm Harbor community.
That is really true, and what a nice introduction. Such a gentleman. I love what you're saying about the Southern charm and everything, and obviously you have found that match of enthusiasm in Palm Harbor. And anytime I ever get a chance to do my own personal plug for Palm Harbor, as you know, when my mom moved down here from Michigan, I chose Palm Harbor, and she lived there for many, many years, and I learned that charm through a number of ways myself. So congratulations for stepping into some serious shoes with Miss Connie Davis. We certainly miss Connie, but tell us a little bit more of how this evolved. This is wonderful.
Well, it was about a 3-month process, and I think the last time we were, our last show, we had talked about kind of the candidates that we had, and we had candidates from all over the United States that were interested in this chamber and being a part of it. And Skip was the cream of the crop, rose to the top immediately. He was actually our first interview and our last interview, and that was all it took. So he was the first guy that we interviewed, and I knew, and then the rest of the exec team knew right away that this was our person. And we went through. We had a lot of great candidates. It was real interesting because we had candidates that weren't just from other chambers, but other big chambers. I mean, big like Orlando and Jacksonville and out west. So it wasn't just the local chambers in small town Florida. These were big chambers that were or the CEOs were interested in being a part of this. And we're very fortunate that we've been able to kind of pull Skip away from his previous endeavor, and we're just thrilled as a board and as a member, as a chamber member, not just a board member, but as a member. I'm thrilled to have somebody that's going to take us into the next step of where this chamber needs to go. So yeah.
Exactly. How did you feel when you were told the former Connie Davis was there for 30 years?
Well, I was staggered by that, because in the chamber world, that's not very common that a president and CEO stays at the same Chamber of Commerce for that many years. In fact, in my time in the chamber world, I've never heard about any president or CEO staying at a chamber for 30 years. So it first was rather daunting to think about, my Lord, these people are very used to a certain form of leadership, a certain form of support, and a certain form of guidance from their president and CEO. Yes. And I literally had thought to myself, I hope I'm up to the challenge. I hope I can fill those shoes and take them to the next level. And I actually spoke to Miss Davis on the phone, and we had a great conversation. She gave me a little background about the town and the community, and that actually made it a little easier, having communicated with her over the phone, and asked her a few things about Palm Harbor and what had happened in the past, what currently was going on, and what she thought about the future. So along with the best, most motivated board I've ever seen, and with good advice from her and great support from the chamber partners themselves. Just in 3 or 4 weeks, I can already tell that I'm going to be able to do some really good things to help support our community here, and that's what the chamber is all about.
Yes.
Is supporting the economic well-being of its community. And we have a unique opportunity here to take Palm Harbor higher than it's ever been, and that includes Ozona, Crystal Beach, and East Lake as well, because we're all part of the same community.
Exactly. Sounds good to me. It really does. I mean, and you're right, because I mean, before I started doing the chamber shows, I'll be honest, I wasn't too familiar because I was doing TV that pretty much owned me at that time. So I wasn't involved in a lot of the community anything. There was just no time for me. But since I've been doing these shows, I've noticed the heart of every chamber and the heart and the pulse of the communities and how they engage with one another and really work with one another, from helping businesses grow to all the communication, the fundraisers, and the fun that everybody has. So it's
gotta be
like
fun.
It's like a big happy family. So you must be thrilled.
Oh, and we've got some even fun events coming up that are quite unique. Like in September we have our adult spelling bee, which gives all the grown-ups a chance to really see how much education we've put together all these years. And it's just
the lack of.
a serious lack of, and it can be incredibly rewarding to some and embarrassing for others. But that's going to be an amazing event for us to help support education. And within the Palm Harbor region, we have 4 local high schools that we support, and our education committee has come up with this great idea. It's going to be the 4th year for that adult spelling bee, and we are welcoming all teams. We're going to have teams of 4, and they are welcome from around the county to come and see who's the smartest. And we might even do it between the chambers. We might actually have a chamber staff challenge to see who's the smartest.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Best speller and best spelling chamber in the county. But anyway, things like that, or just as you said, are going to keep it upbeat, keep it fun, because there's enough stress. And chamber life and business life doesn't always have to be all about stress and what's going to happen tomorrow. It can be about right now and enjoying life and enjoying our relationships we have with each other.
Yes.
And giving back to our community in a way that's constructive and going to leave our children, better forms of education, support, the infrastructure that we need to stay strong in Florida.
And they need that. I mean, our generation's coming up, especially in this volatile world that we're living in. There's just a lot of negativity, a lot of stress that's going on. So the closer families can keep knitting themselves together for the future and with the communities. And what I love about the chambers is you're setting a good example for these generations. You're showing them how to become involved in the community, how to engage themselves, and just be a better citizen. The young and upcoming professionals and all that they do. I think some of the poor millennials are getting a bad rap. I really do, because I've interviewed some really smart people in that millennial group, and I'll tell you, they respect those of us seniors or semi-seniors for what we've learned. And if we can respect their knowledge and learning all about all the gadgets and the things that I didn't learn growing up, but by offering these different learning capabilities in the community, it's just a win-win all the way around.
Every community has a chamber of commerce. Every chamber is tied to some sort of community, and every community has one. Not every community has a Rotary, not every community has a YMCA, not every community has other things, but every community in Florida has a Chamber of Commerce. And it's the one part and the one piece that ties in the economic, the small business, the medium, the large business, and the general population, the people that live in an area. And it's the one connecting dot that sits between most of the cities and the counties and the people that actually live there. And small business right now in Palm Harbor is percolating like just blowing over top. I mean, there's so much going on. That's why we were, again, very fortunate to have Skip and get Skip involved with our chamber, because he's got a heavy background in commerce and understands the economic development piece, and that was a big portion of what we felt was important to our next CEO and our next leader. And his understanding of how the county works and and some of the other functions that go into the president's seat that we just felt that was a perfect fit, and see this as, wow, the next amazing, there's no ceiling. And Skip and I have talked about it. We throw every idea out there we can, and it's something that we can do it. Yeah, we can do that.
And your excitement is so contagious. It really is. And getting back to the whole chamber thing, we're going to go to a break here in about a minute. But the one thing about being involved with the chamber is this excitement. And if you are a business owner and you have not joined the chamber, you're down in Palm Harbor, you need to check these guys out, because it's not just becoming a member and paying your dues, it's about getting involved.
It's a partnership.
It is a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, it is. So stay right where you are. We want to hear from you. And of course, you can always go to the chamber website, check out what's going on there, because you've got a great website. So that's very exciting. And that website is?
GreaterPalmHarborPC.com.
Very good. So we're going to take a little time out, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about, can we share a little sneak peek to some of the plans that you are talking about?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. So stay right where you are, grab a favorite beverage or a cup of tea or whatever, and we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you for your service. We certainly appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Hi, everyone. We're back here with My Chamber TV, and I'm just having a lovely conversation here with these two guys from the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce. We have Skip Alford, who is the new CEO. If you were watching our show the last time, we were kind of teasing everybody. We didn't know who it was going to be, and we were sitting on the edge of our chair. So now Skip has joined us, and of course we have Cary McCord from Whitco Insurance, who is also part of the chamber, and one of my two co-hosts. I'm lucky enough to have two regular co-hosts,
you're
but Kelly wasn't able to be here. I guess I'm high maintenance. Is that what it is?
No.
But anyway, so we're talking about you stepping into your new position and everything, and I want to ask you the whys. What are the whys?
Well, what intrigued me about Palm Harbor, and a lot of this was given to me by Cary, before I'd actually had come up here, was the fact that the school system here is awesome. Highly rated schools, and the Palm Harbor is actually a community, a true community. And what I mean by that is, it's not necessarily a destination. Not hardly anybody's going to say, I'm going to vacation down in Palm Harbor, because we're between vacation areas. We're the community where all of the other communities get the talented workforce and have the stability of business that allows them access, to incredible opportunities for growth and business and talent to come work at the hotels and work at the restaurants and set up businesses, which I think is incredibly important, because if we continue colonizing or allowing our state to be colonized from outside, we're going to have a talented workforce that's not going to have any future. And that's why the Chamber of Commerce, our role is so important when it comes to supporting, developing that local talent, and in supporting education and making sure that our schools are strong and that they're structurally sound, and that access is easily made to these schools. And not only that, we advertise that abroad, that Palm Harbor, if you're interested in moving to Florida, that this is a place where you're going to have a quality family life, to a suitable, safe, peaceful area to raise your children, beautiful climate, almost, hardly any crime to speak of. And like I said, with already great schools, all we can do is just keep making them stronger and stronger, and our young people will be able to have jobs and build their own businesses without having to move off to Atlanta or New York or who knows where else.
Yes, and I'm so glad to hear you say that. I mean, what a great... That should be in a little infomercial for Palm Harbor, seriously.
He can do the video next year.
I'm telling you, I mean...
I'm not doing them.
Well, maybe I need to move to Palm Harbor. I'm actually right next to you guys. But, and Pinellas County is it's a fabulous county. And like I say, I brought my mom down here from Michigan when she retired and came down here. But I can hear this passion, and I can tell that you've got a lot of things on the horizon that you're going to make it, even better and more engaging for the businesses and the residents. And, when families uproot and move, that is not an easy task. That really isn't. There's so much emotion involved. People, you make your friends, you have your roots, and then to up and move. So it's easier to go somewhere that has all the bells and whistles, so to speak, but the education system is one major factor. And I understand there's a lot more people moving to Florida these days than ever before.
Yeah.
Take a look at the roads, right?
The
Just
roads,
today alone. It doesn't matter what road you were on. I mean, it's...
Well, I heard a recent statistic, and I hope this is accurate, that somewhere in between 650 to 700 people per day are moving into our state.
Is that really?
And that's a huge influx, because this state is very friendly to business.
Yes.
It's very friendly to certain groups within America, such as myself, a retired military.
Yes.
It's just a perfect, fantastic place to have a family, to live out your retirement years. It's got so much going for it.
Right.
And Palm Harbor, by its very position, that but being right in the north central part of the state, is just a perfect area to have a neighborhood type environment. And what's so neat about it is I live right in the southern half of Palm Harbor, but anything I want or desire for my home, anything I need to eat, anything I need as far as supplies, anything is within a 10-minute drive.
And that's perfect.
You know? And that's awesome. Well, you don't even have to leave your town for a single thing. You can even go down the street and see professional baseball. And that is just such a blessing to have a community that has it all.
Yes.
I mean, who else can say that?
Yes.
That right in amongst the most densely populated county in Florida, that we have a true community of nothing but beautiful neighborhoods.
Exactly.
And great schools and great restaurants and great things to do. I mean, it's amazing.
And not only that, you're close to the beaches.
Just
That's another major plus why people move to Florida. You get out of the cold weather, away from shoveling snow and all that, right?
Yeah.
And plus, you're not that far from the major airport here in
That's right.
Tampa. So, and I mean, you're right. There is just we can resell ourselves on Florida,
Oh, yeah.
and especially like when it comes to Palm Harbor and all the great assets that you guys have
Yes.
down there. It truly is amazing.
It is.
You can't stop
the
smiling.
advantage
Neither
is
can you.
is that because we're unincorporated, we're not a city.
Right.
We have this very different and unique situation that Skip mentioned, which is you've got a whole lot of small businesses. You have a whole lot of people that want to start a business or that want to be in business. And those small businesses need support. They need good support. They need good human resources. They need good people to work for them. And it's the perfect little incubator for commerce. And because we don't have a city that holds us in any direction, it almost works to our advantage that we can kind of do whatever we want to a certain extent.
Right.
Now, when it comes down to having events and closing down the streets, that requires the county's help. But, that's, when Skip mentions about just what a gem Palm Harbor is, the reason why it's a gem is because we have this freedom, we have this ability
Yes.
to do what we want, and you're right, you can start a business and have a success and no one's going to stop you.
Right.
There's no big brick store down the road that's going to close you down. And we're so excited about the way that this chamber is going to look 3, 4, 5 years from now, that I almost want to just like
Advance forward?
Yeah, just time capsule myself and come back. But we're looking at some really good things. We're excited about some of the events we've got coming up. We'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Yep.
We've got some monthly events and then some annual events that we do, and kind of falls in line with what we did last year, a little bit different. And then we're going to give this thing to Skip, and he's going to take control, and he's going to come up with all sorts of great ideas and new things for us to do.
I bet you're
Hopefully.
really relieved.
I as much as I'm, and everybody keeps asking, hey, are you relieved? I'm like, as much as I am relieved, I'm more excited than anything.
And that's the perfect balance.
Yeah, because it's for those that know what this chamber has transitioned through over the last 6 months. It's all been good stuff, but it's when everyone's working volunteer,
I know.
plus other jobs, plus family, it definitely has some taxing points to it. But as much as I'm relieved to have a new chief and a new boss and a new president and a new CEO, I'm excited about where he's going to take us.
That is really great. Well, I've been to a couple of the functions down there, and I mean, at 7:30. I think this is where I first met you. Was at the library at the 7:30 a.m. mind you, coffee, and I mean that room was buzzing. There had to be about 40 people there, and they were just buzzing. It's so exciting to see businesses that not a bunch of stuffed shirts out there, and just everybody with that free spirit and wanting to help one another, giving testimonials for businesses that they've used. I think it's fabulous. It's exciting.
Yep, and we've got a great county commissioner that's very chamber friendly, and he's all about supporting commerce as well. And we've each had multiple conversations with Commissioner Eggers and about where we're going to take Palm Harbor and what we'd like to see it become. And yeah, it's exciting.
I can't even imagine because it's already way up there. I just can't even imagine. I can't wait to hear all the different things that are going on and what you have. We've got just under 3 minutes. Can you give us just a little sneak peek on maybe 1 or 2 little hints on what you're doing?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce, and a lot of people don't have a full understanding of this, is in reality a business in of itself. It's actually a business organization, and the beauty of it is that every member is actually a partner within the chamber because they're investing in the same thing.
Sure.
They're investing in the same venues, they're investing in the same dreams, they're investing in the same ventures. And the beauty of being the president and CEO of an organization like that is it's very easy for the revenue that we make from our chamber activities to be reinvested right back into venues that are going to help us increase membership, partnership in the chamber, and give us more resources to not only drive business to our current partners, but to bring resources more and more that are in line with technology and those things to keep us on the cutting edge of technology, and that way we can appeal to not only one crowd of folks, let's say baby boomers, but millennials, Generation Xers,
Yes.
us, which I'm a boomer. But if we have to evolve the chamber resources that appeal to all the younger generations that are coming
right.
in.
That's right.
And that's one of my main focuses is it still comes back to education,
Yes.
but in general, we need to focus growing our resources that basically can apply and are valid for every member or every partner within the Chamber of Commerce. And they have resources that are up to date, cutting edge, that help us drive business their way.
And that's the key, is being right on the cutting edge for all
Absolutely.
ages, all
And
generations.
kids coming out of college now,
Yes.
they're doing their own thing, work from home, and
Yeah.
you know the chambers need to evolve to also support what they're doing and help assist them to be successful. And you know that's you got to move and you got to make changes.
You got to stay with the times.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm
You gotta-
really learning that. I'm a boomer too, and
Right.
thinking, geez, I don't even know if I could go out there and get an actual job. I mean, with all the technology and everything, I'd have to go back to
Oh,
school.
you can get a job.
But we're going to take a brief little time out. We're going to give Skip just a little break to get a sip of water, and then we're going to bring him back in the last segment. But we have a special guest coming up in just a little bit, so stay right where you are. And thanks for joining us today. Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV, and we are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community, and of course with the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce, we have the new CEO here with Mr. Skip, and now we have a brand new member, sort of, kind of.
Yep, sort of.
And I love it, Nancy Coughlin with Pinnacle Travel. Just the sounds of that makes me want to go on a cruise, somewhere, anywhere. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, this new company?
New company, brand new company, just established, just opened doors actually on Black Friday, but officially in January.
Oh, cool.
Really? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
You are the owner.
I am the owner. It's for 4 ladies that are in the office, and we are a real brick and mortar travel agency.
Really? The good old-fashioned
Good
way,
old-fashioned
right?
way.
I love it. Where are you in Palm Harbor?
We're on East Lake Road on the corner of Tarpon Woods Boulevard, facing East Lake Road.
You're right up the street from me.
We are.
Yeah.
I can almost ride my bike there.
And we are the only travel agency on East Lake Road from 49th Street Bridge all the way up to Seven Springs.
I was going to think
That's
I can't,
a long
I don't know
way.
There is, we scouted out the location, and there are, there's quite a few over on 19, but there is none on East Lake Road.
So why a travel agency? You could have done anything you wanted to in Palm Harbor. Why this travel agency?
Well, worked for another travel agency in town, and felt like we could do it differently, do it better, and just decided to try that old entrepreneurial spirit.
Good for
and,
you. I love it. I love
see
it.
how we could do, especially with us being up in that area and no one else being up in that area. And quite a few of my clients, in fact, Cary was one of my clients, were there before.
Oh,
Before
very
we were there.
nice.
So.
Yeah.
So was this, it sounds like you're wanting to create a niche for yourself, and you're saying about doing some things different and doing things better. Like what?
Like spending time with our clients.
Sitting
down.
5 gold stars right
Sitting
away
down
for that.
and letting them sit in our chair and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and take detailed time to find out where they want to go, what they want to do, what their family is like, so that we can advise them the best on the kind of trip they want to take.
So you really taking that time, that personal attention. That's like you, Cary, with your business. I mean, don't you guys feel that that's what people are wanting to go back to? Good old-fashioned basics.
It's interesting how it's kind of moved. The needle's starting to move the other direction
Thank you.
now.
Give me a fist bump on that one, buddy. I
and you
am
talk
so
about
glad.
old school brick and mortar.
Yes.
You know, all the web sites you can go to for travel, but being able to
Yes.
call somebody and go, this is what I'm looking for, and
There was an article in USA Today a couple months ago, and brick and mortar agencies are on the rise again for exact that reason.
Yeah.
Because the millennials want to take complicated, fancy trips, and doing that research on the internet is quite a bit of work, as
Yeah.
you know, and quite confusing. So they're coming back to travel agents saying, you do it for me. You do it for me. There's too much out there to know what the best deal is, what the best price is. You do it for me.
I
So-
tried to book a flight the other day, and I got so frustrated, like, I said, forget it, I'm not even going. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not, like...
See, it's not worth the
different
stress.
websites, and you're back and forth, and I'm like, you know what, just forget it. I'm frustrated, I think I'll just drive.
To know what the best deal is, yeah, it's really hard to do on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm not a real traveler, but if I wanted to, I would want to go just like this, face to face, and talk to somebody that can really get to know you.
Yeah.
Get to see what your customers are about, right?
Yeah, I just had a client who came to me and said that they wanted to take a bucket list Europe trip with his young adult kids. And he gave me a budget, and he said, I don't want to be involved at all. He said, you plan the trip. You plan the trip. You know my family, you know my kids, you know
See?
what we are interested in, you plan the trip. So, and to do that is such an awesome responsibility, because
Yes.
you know the vacation is so important. You want it to be a positive experience. So
yeah.
it's to do it right is not a fast job. It's let's get to know you. Let's sit down and find out exactly what you like and don't like, and then let us do the rest. We have a motto: use the internet to look, but use a travel agent to book.
Yep.
Oh, I love
like it.
that.
I like it.
That is so perfect and very, very appropriate. And, I'm glad to see the way you said that with the needle is starting to go back the other way.
Yeah.
Trends, up and down, up and down, up and down, sideways, whatever. So I'm thrilled. So you joined the chamber. You're fairly new
Yeah.
with your fairly
That was
new
one
business.
of the first things we did was join the chamber.
Now, is this your first time being a chamber member?
It is.
Really?
In fact, yeah, the agency I used to work for was not a chamber member, and I thought that was a void in the marketing plan. So I was like, no, we're going to join the chamber. The best way people do business with you is if they know you, they like you, and they trust you.
Yep.
Same old cliche, absolutely. So who twisted your arm? Did Cary get you or
No,
somebody
it
else?
was one of Cary's ambassadors.
Who is that? Do I know who that is?
John.
John, okay.
Yeah, he came in to visit us.
Good
Nice.
deal.
And we just jumped right on the bandwagon. And plus, I don't want to, exactly what you're talking about before, we don't want to just be a member with a sticker on the door. We want to be involved.
That's the only way to do it.
And my other partner, she's in the education committee for the
Yep.
chamber. So we do the events, we have booths. You know, we want to be involved because if you don't know us and know who we are, then you're not going to refer us.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
That's right.
we believe
Your
wholeheartedly.
web presence and your social media presence, that's great for certain generations and certain types of markets, but when you're trying to connect with, let's say, people who can afford to go
Yeah.
on nice vacations, they're probably not going to just call you and say, hey, book me a trip to Europe.
Right.
You're going to have to be somebody and know somebody and
Yeah.
be introduced and have that know,
Yeah,
like,
it's a
and
trust
piece.
thing. Yeah, a big trust
Yeah.
piece.
That's
and
a
Nancy
real
did a
big
great job
thing.
for, you took care of
Disney.
our Disney
Yeah,
trip.
yeah.
So we had, oh my gosh, how many families did we have?
Like 50
Like
families.
50 families, and I forget how many kids.
Yeah, it was
2
about
years
100
ago,
people altogether,
all on
yeah.
one Disney cruise. We took up one whole side of the boat. Nancy did a phenomenal job of getting us all booked in the right place at the right time and getting us, we were transported, we were taken care of. It was absolutely amazing. To this day, one of the best family vacations that I've ever been on, before or after. You know, everything.
Disney makes that a challenge because they won't do groups. Disney,
Oh, yeah.
Disney does not do groups, so they
Yeah.
give you 72 hours to book all the cabins.
What?
So
That's
it's
not
like
very long.
You have to do all of the pre-marketing and then say, okay, you know, the clock is ticking, call in
Yeah.
and get everybody to call in if they want to hold their cabins because they let me hold cabins side by side. So we tried to string as many
Yeah.
together side by side as we could.
And
And when
did-
was
you did
this?
a great job.
When did you do this?
Was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
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 So you've got history.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
got history with her. Yeah.
We try very hard to build a positive relationship so that people will come back, because if they don't come back, that is not going to work.
That is so true.
And it's funny how, like, I used to think of a vacation just going to Orlando or Disney World. Well, now families are doing a lot of different things.
Complex
They're
things.
traveling out
Yeah.
west. They're
Yeah.
traveling overseas. They're traveling
Yes.
south.
Yes.
Even though the world is a little tight and a little scary in certain places, it certainly has opened up
Yeah, it's
from a
not
travel
stopping
standpoint.
People. It is not stopping people from traveling. And for family vacations now, you can do things like camp in Machu Picchu.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've heard about
Crazy
And the
things.
company will set up the tents for you, so it's like relaxing
That's
camping.
so great. What are some other trips that people are taking these days? What's
Well,
trending?
River cruises. And river
Huh.
cruises started out being adults only, 50 plus.
Right.
But now the river cruises are for families.
Huh.
Disney got into it, and they actually partnered with a company called Ama Waterways, which is ranked #1 in river boat cruises.
Huh.
And you can take a family river cruise. You
How
can
nice
go
is
to
that?
a castle, and you can have a sword fight with your children with Disney, because we know how Disney does it well. And that's a big trend right now. And
That's
some
going to
other
give you such
companies-
leverage. Oh my gosh! And with what does that tell you? Families, family. People are going back to nesting.
Multi-generational. That's the nice thing about the riverboat cruises. They're multi-generational. Grandma, you know, who has a good retirement, can take the grandkids and
Babysit.
and you can all go into Rome and make a pizza together with Disney, because they do that kind of stuff.
Are you guys hearing this? This is so
Yeah.
cool.
I'm kind of hungry now.
I know, right?
So yeah, there's lots of interesting new ways to travel out there, and then definitely they're trying to reach out to the families.
Now, is this Disney thing? Is that one of your little niches that you?
Yeah, we do specialize in Disney. We love
there
Disney.
you go. There you go. Very good.
We specialize in anything that's unusual, you know, helping people put together things that you can't just go on the internet and do yourself.
And that has to be invigorating for you too,
Oh,
and
yeah.
challenging.
Very challenging.
What's your best challenge that someone has come
That's what
in
I'm
and
just thinking. What's been your biggest hurdle?
yeah.
Well, the bucket list Europe trip was very challenging only because I wasn't even allowed to speak to the wife.
Oh.
He said, I don't want my wife involved because she's going to get stressed and she's gonna make me crazy. So I had to make all those decisions with no endorsement. And so then I didn't want them going over there and saying, well, why did she choose this? This was a bad decision. So I did make them come in 2 weeks before and go over the itinerary and explain to them why I made each decision, because that was very important for them to get the buy-in as to why I made the decision.
And were they good?
Yeah, they had a great time, a wonderful time. They just got back. To give you an idea of the kind of service that we give, I was actually on vacation, and I was in South Carolina, and 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone dings, and when you send people to Europe, you're dealing with a time difference.
Oh, yes.
And
a lot of hours.
Yeah, it was 2 o'clock in the morning our time. It was like 9 o'clock theirs, and she texted with a problem that she had, and I knew I'd never be able to go back to sleep. Now I knew she had a problem, so at 2 o'clock in the morning I went into the bathroom of the hotel so I wouldn't bother anyone, got out my laptop, and I solved her problem at 2 o'clock in the morning.
See, that's dedication.
So, yeah, that's why we're here, because you wouldn't be able to call back to the States and get help usually.
Well, and that's very important for you to keep that in mind if you're thinking of going traveling, that you've got somebody they've got your back. And, and and that is dedication. And as a business owner, those are some of the things that we must do if we want our customers to come back to us.
Yeah,
right?
you want answering that text message and answering it timely is so important. Yeah, because it's a SOS that they're sending up. Help!
Exactly. Well, Nancy, thank you so much. This has been delightful. And I know the go-to travel agency, which happens to be Coughlin. And for anybody that would like to get a hold of Nancy, what is the best, Pinnacle with Nancy Coughlin. 727-330 number? 727-330-2040.
That's our number.
She's right up the street from me at Tarpon Woods Boulevard.
And East Lake Road.
And East Lake Road. And it's easy to get to. I know exactly where you're at.
Good. Come visit us.
Thank you. I just might. I'm ready
Send some
for a
people our way.
vacation. And we're going to be right back. And we will have Skip, our new CEO, with the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce. Stick around. Hi, everyone. Welcome into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and we have the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce here. Skip is back, our new CEO, and we also have Cary that's through all the segments. We're missing Miss Kelly Snow. Hopefully to see you back next time with us. But as we wind down the last segment, thanks for coming back and staying with us and sharing some of the things that are coming up. You've got some activities planned, so I'm just going to turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about some of the monthly activities we've got coming up. It's interesting, usually June and July and August are kind of summer months that are not a whole lot going on. Oh my gosh, we've got probably 4 or 5 ribbon cuttings.
Really?
We've had 3 in July already, and these are new businesses.
New businesses in this time of the year.
We're booked up for August. We've got coffee hour. That's the first Thursday of every month, and then we do the third Thursday of every month is our network lunch. We've got coffee for closers. That was this morning at Lucky Dill, and we had a good turnout there. That's a good little event.
That is a good one. I've been to that one.
Yeah, and then we have who is it? Jason Avery that does.
Love Jason.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's been on the show.
Yeah, I hope he's watching. He's awesome.
Hey, Jason.
He's got his event.
What's the name of it? Is it still it was a kind of expose yourself or something?
Yeah, expose yourself
Is that what he's
networking.
still
Yeah,
doing
look it
that?
up on Facebook.
I love it.
Or go to our Facebook page and look it up. But it's expose yourself. I wanted to go something a little more riskier, like the Batman suit, Superman suit, but he's obviously we couldn't do that. But maybe I could get some of the guys here in the graphics department to
There you go.
rework it.
Yeah, you
But it's
could.
a great event. I mean, he sells it out every month, and people show up, and it's usually at a local restaurant or establishment that's
Right.
that's a member
Right.
or a partner or a chamber partner.
And give our viewers a little overview on what, just in this example on this.
Yeah. So Expose Yourself Network is kind of like speed dating. The difference is Jason's written a book, by the way, on marketing and specifically marketing and showing general contractors how to be successful in their business and grow their business through networking, not just building bricks. But what it is, he gives you a quick kind of 5-minute tutorial. This is how it works. This is what you're here for. This is how you do it. And essentially what you leave with is not just 1 or 2 people that know what you do, but 2 or 3 people that are out there hunting for you and to get you introduced.
Yes.
The perfect example for me is like you introduce me to somebody that's buying a new house. That's one policy, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe an auto, and maybe I get a few policies out of it. But if he introduces me to a real estate agent or a mortgage broker or a title person, that's somebody who's doing 4 or 5 homes. Well, that's a little different. So his concept is don't just give a man a fish, teach him how to fish, and then get him the introduction. And then what he does is he's really good at making you connect the dots. So if someone says, "Oh, I'll introduce you to this person," and they have the ability to help you out, well, he's good at making you follow up on that, so that you go have lunch and go have dinner with that. So it's a map that he lays out. And he says, okay, so the next time you come back, hey, did you do your homework?
Exactly.
Some people like it, some people don't, but it's one of our most successful events. And when it comes to referring partners within the chamber, it's a nail the coffin shut event. I mean, it's awesome.
And that's the success, that's the support. That's what you were talking about earlier, is giving that support. What kind of ideas? I'm going to try to extract as much as I can in this last segment from you, Skip.
Well, the essence of all the events we do, or most any chamber does, but especially what we enjoy here at Palm Harbor and our chamber promotes, the partnership. And the very essence of that word partnership means that you're in an alliance. So every event, I try and encourage everybody to understand the important fact that your best resource of information or referral is sitting right across from you, or right next to you, or right behind you. And that way, whenever you're at a venue, don't leave that venue until you've shook every single person's hand and you get to know them and what they're looking out for and what you're looking out for. And if you can have a room full of 40 people, like we talked about at the coffee morning the other morning at the library, you can leave there thinking instead of 39 fellow members, I've got 39 consultants that are out with their ears open looking out for me. I mean, and I tell them, if you're in the security industry, then your name within our chamber partnership should be synonymous with security. When anybody hears the word burglar alarm or camera surveillance, that they immediately think of you for the referral. The relationship between the partners needs to be that tight and that close. And if I can go ahead and encourage the partnership to understand that that's who you are. You're each other's consultants. You're each other's eyes and ears. Today, we have a brand new member, a young man that owns his own cleaning business. And just imagine who can be his client if he does both commercial and residential cleaning. And he said, he looked at me kind of funny, and he said, well, I guess anybody. And I said, yes, anybody. That means any chamber function you go to, there are not only clients, but your fellow consultants and partners looking out for anybody that walks into a filthy building. So I went to our chamber office, and I gave him every realtor's member partner card that I have in my lobby. And I said, here's all of your immediate partners in this chamber that you could literally do business with. Because if they sell a home or rent a home, they're going to need that home cleaned. So this is how this works. You know, you tied in with relationships, you get networked, you get to know each other, and you form that partnership attitude that is literally contagious. So the underlying theme of all the chamber activities and venues that we do is that very essence of partnership, organization, the essence of a chamber to help each other grow and to lure other people to say, hey, I need to be part of that. When they see how the chamber is growing and prospering and taking care of its fellow partners, that's what we want. We want to grow the Chamber of Commerce in number.
And even competitors. I mean, I'm not the only insurance guy in the chamber. I mean, there's 6 other guys, but there's enough room and relationships there, and some of my best referrals come from my competitors, where it's or there's something I can't do that they can do, and I'm thinking, well, man, who do I call? You know, I go, well, hold on, I'll call him. Yeah, I know he can do it.
Well, that's because you've evolved into that. There's no competition.
Right.
Okay. You look at it with really wide open eyes and a wide open mind.
Well, even better than that, competition is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
In a thriving business community, the better the competition, the stronger the business is. And, you know, that should take a lot of the fear away from, well, I don't know if I want to join the chamber because there's other people that do what I do.
That's right.
No, that's exactly why you should be part of the Chamber of Commerce. Exactly why you should be in there and have your hat, you know, in the mix and be out there working and networking and getting referrals, because just like Cary said, there's always going to be situations that arise that you might not be able to handle, but you've got a fabulous relationship with a colleague in the same industry that you can pass that business on to.
And it shows your integrity to not be in that fear mode of somebody else taking your business. And that's just what collaboration is all about. Well, we are almost to the close of our show, and that message that you're driving home with that partnership and the handshakes and your excitement and passion is a whole lot of leverage in this whole business arena, with really encouraging businesses to get involved and to join the chamber. And when you're telling me, how many ribbon cuttings did you have?
We had
in the summer.
I mean, in the summer we've probably had close to 12. We're booked up all next month for new businesses.
And how soon do you come in with your ribbon cutting after people join?
Whenever they want to set it up. You know, we try to accommodate them.
Very good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
My goodness, we could sit here for hours. This is so exciting. I mean, how can business be so exciting? It is when you're working with people that know what they're doing and you know, like, and trust them. And of course, Palm Harbor Chamber, we've been doing this show now for going on 4 years. And we're delighted to have you come here to the show. What'd you think, Skip?
I loved it. Loved every second of it. Love to come back anytime I'm asked.
Well, we'll definitely have you come. Get everybody pumped up in Palm Harbor. Thanks for joining us on My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I will see you next time.